I can't believe I'm making this video. This is super frustrating. Here are 3 ways I think the Jets can handle the Elijah Moore situation and what I really think is going on. Jets! Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, this is really friggin' frustrating to have to talk about. Elijah Moore is one of my favorite players on the Jets, was one of my favorite players on the Jets. And now, after sleeping on it, I'm a little more fired up. And I want to give you my thoughts on how I think the Jets could handle this, how I think they should handle this, and all the things that I think led up to this point. A little bit of conjecture here at the tail end of it, so just stick around and let me know your thoughts on my theory here. All right, so option number 1 for the whole Elijah Moore situation. Let's catch everyone back up. Elijah Moore receives no targets this past week. Winds up getting a little frustrated. Rich Cimini reaches out on Twitter and just says, most mind-blowing stat from the Jets-Packers game, Elijah Moore has no targets. And Elijah Moore retweets that and comments and says, oh, I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to be about me or whatever. The team's winning. I'm all about the winning. Clearly a red flag, right? Like that doesn't look great from your wide receiver. Rich Cimini baited Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore took the bait. And I think, that's kind of where we wind up here. Yesterday, we wind up Ian Rappaport comes out and says Elijah Moore has requested a trade after not participating in practice because he was given a personal day by Coach Saleh. So we're back here. Obviously, outcome 1, or I'll say outcome 3. We'll go 1. Outcome 1. The Jets and Elijah Moore figure it out. They say, hey, you know what? You're too good of a player. You got to get on the field. We got to figure out how to get you the targets. We're going to make this whole thing work. Water under the bridge. That is the best way this can end. I really, really hope they can figure that out. For that to happen, I think Elijah Moore is going to have to come out and face his teammates and really talk to them and say, like, guys, I was in a tough spot. I had a self-reflection moment, and I made a mistake. I'm wrong. That's how he's going to have to approach that locker room. Option 2, the Jets say, we can't have a guy that's going to poison the well because he's upset and he's clearly about me. Let's just trade him and get whatever we can. Positive vibes only. I can totally see that as outcome number 2. Elijah Moore's on a good contract. Jets should be able to get something decent back in return. Remember, he was a high second-round pick who has, I think, proven that he's at least worthy of that high second-round pick and is on a cheap contract. So you're not getting the unknown like you would with a draft pick. So I've speculated a late first. Maybe it's an early second with a later pick, or maybe for a proven player or something like that if you were going to trade him. The third way, and this is me being a spiteful SOB, is you look at Elijah Moore, you see what he's doing, and you handle it the exact same way you handled Denzel Mims. You say, we're not trading him, which is what the Jets have come out and said. Jets said, we're not trading him. No discussion. But I would deactivate his ass. I would sit him on the bench and I would let him ride the pine until he comes back and talks to his teammates. And then I activate Denzel Mims and I say, hey, Mims, now's your time to shine. Here we go. Elijah Moore, rot on the bench. It's all about you? Okay, we'll call you up when we need you. Clearly we haven't needed to use you the last few games in order to win. So what are you providing? You're not like the best blocker in the world for this running game, but I'm about to go off on a little bit of a tangent here. No tangents. All right. You could put him on ice. You sit him down. We own his rights for the next 2.5 years. I have a thought on how this all sort of started percolating, and I think this was predetermined earlier in the year, and it was probably festering over the course of the last 6 months or so. And I think Elijah Moore loved getting the targets last year, came into the offseason. Jets are looking at number 10 overall. They have number 4 overall. They have their top 2 second-round picks. There's a ton of trade rumors swirling. Ton of trade rumors. One of those trade rumors being, are the Jets going to trade for A.J. Brown? Number 10 overall, get you A.J. Brown. Are the Jets going to pull the trigger and do it? A lot of us speculated that it might be true. It'd be cool to have Elijah Moore team up with his old college roommate in A.J. Brown. And we're thinking, oh man, this is going to be fantastic. You're going to have the chemistry is going to be there. All that. Draft day comes. We're watching each pick. We get to the number 10 pick. Does it get moved? Does it not get moved? We don't know what's going on. Winds up not getting moved. Jets take wide receiver Garrett Wilson in the draft. Great selection. This guy has been awesome to watch. That hit a chord with Elijah Moore. I think Elijah Moore was hurt that we did not trade for his college buddy, A.J. Brown, and the Philadelphia Eagles wound up making the trade for him. And he saw that. He's like, we took a receiver at 10. We could have had my guy, a proven player in this league, like 4-10. Like that was, we had it. It was right there. And I think he's upset the same way that Jamal was upset that we did not end up trading Jamal to the Cowboys at the trade deadline a few years back. I think it's that same sort of situation. Now, fast forward just 3 weeks. 3 weeks from the draft. This is May 21st. Elijah Moore does a signing on Long Island at a car dealership. Winds up going out afterwards to a restaurant. I got these pictures from our own Jets media, Richie, who at the time told me, don't say anything. Did not say anything. Kept my mouth shut. Now that this whole thing is out in the open, do you know who he was at that restaurant with? That's right. That's Elijah Moore sitting down with Jamal Content and Marcus. Maybe I shouldn't be behind a wheel. Two guys that at the time, I told Richie, I don't know how much I love that. I don't think these guys have anything nice to say about the New York Jets. Interesting. How does that picture reflect now? Because I'm looking at how Elijah Moore has handled himself the last week, and now all this stuff is collapsing down on top of me, and I'm thinking, this dude had a plan the whole time, and it started on draft night. And I think he met with those two, and they poured some gasoline on the fire. What the hell do you think Jamal Adams and Marcus May are going to be saying about Joe Douglas and this whole coaching staff? Nothing good. Nothing good. You are who you surround yourself with. Surround yourself with positive people. I thought for sure Elijah Moore was going to be the guy with Michael Carter, with, Zach Wilson. We're going to turn this franchise around. We are the young guns. We're young and hungry. This is what it is. I believe Elijah Moore has every right to think about himself. 100%. I completely understand the thought process. You got to take care of number one. But this is a little ridiculous, and you look childish, and you look like a fucking fool. He wants his targets. Put his ass on the bench. Let him rot. We don't need any of the draft picks. We have plenty of talent on this roster to win, and we have all our draft picks from next year. I would sacrifice 2.5 years, eat the whole contract to not get one solid pick for Elijah Moore. That's how fucking spiteful I am. This is bullshit. I don't want to hear this. This guy's playing in the greatest city in the NFL to play and win in. And he's going to be a malcontent? What's going to happen when you're starting to lose? I mean, clearly he has demanded a trade already. I don't think you cave to this. I think you give Mims his shot. Let him go up and get these jump balls that Elijah Moore can't get. That's my thought process. I'm probably a little salty. Maybe this video doesn't go over well and people just blast me for it. I don't know. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think a lot of you guys are probably still fired up as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, go Jets.